Was your Tyler's back? Bad hair night for tonight? Actually, no, this is not for my. I just don't know why I said that. God help me with this Wrestling Dumpsterfires video. Spoiler alert, my next Wrestling Dumpsterfires video is Raw in 2019. Because, yes, this edition of Wrestling Dumpsterfires is, to me, one of the worst years in SmackDown's history. Now, look at SmackDown today. It's got better. With the roster they had now for SmackDown and Raw also, but dear Lord, God bless us that Triple H is still riding the ship. Ain't that right, Vince? We'll stay away this time. You think they're gonna go back to the crib? No, it never says, we don't need you here. Karma's a bitch, right? But anyways, let's talk about this edition of Wrestling Dumpsterfires video. This is, to me, one of SmackDown's worst years in 2019. Like I said before, 2017 is better than 2019. 2018 is right here, and 2016 is right up here. So, this is like right here. Near the end of this year. And fun fact about 2019, this is where this YouTube channel began. And then you fast forward to May of this year, I started the other one, which is the retro reviews, which you're going to see a redo of Halloween Havoc 97. That's like, other of it, it's like no year in reviews on there. So, and also God bless me, because I stopped doing the year in reviews last spring. Because if I would have continued them, I would have shit on this year. Here we go. I say this is the many downfalls of SmackDown in 2019. So let's get on to it. I don't want to do this, but I have to do it. I mean, you know about this Wrestling Dumpsterfires video. I started this over a year ago. And this is just me ranting on some of the dumbest things about wrestling. And this is, to me, one of the worst. Like I said before, the next one is the main downfalls of Raw in 2019. I mean, let's start the year prior, before the 2019 year. And I'm going to quote some Simpsons references. A Simpsons reference from one episode. If you know what episode I'm talking about. The one where Lisa she becomes a vegetarian and didn't want to eat the meat, so you're going to see a reference here. So let's talk about the main downfalls. The first is the main downfalls began when SmackDown got literally fucking buried at Survivor Series. That's a one show I don't want to talk about on my channels. But also, let's kick this off. So, nothing like, what am I trying to say? Like, January 1st, which was a tape episode, which, the New Year's Day 2019 was my first YouTube video on here, which was New Year's Revolution 2005, which I'm going to have to redo that one also on my secondary channel also. But let's begin with what we begin. So, let's get the WWE title scenario out of the way. So, fortunately, Daniel Bryan was the WWE Championship, and this was the worst scene of the title scene of SmackDown, because literally threw the original belt in the trash, and then had this stupid looking Minecraft belt of a fit. It was stupid. Then there's this whole thing with Kofi Kingston being becoming the champion, which, spoiler, he did. Now the reason why I'm talk about this right now. I'm gonna save some of the biggest reasons why this brand, this SmackDown, went downhill ever for like what until they did the draft in 2023. Here's one of the many reasons why they put HSL on Raw. It's just a little dirty. It's still good. It's still good. No, it ain't. In its place was they put Roman Reigns on SmackDown, which he's still on SmackDown to this very, very day. We'll get to Roman Reigns like later on. He had a mini feud with Elias, which begins the feud with Shane McMahon, which also led to him continuing his feud with Drew McIntyre, who, by the way, was a Raw superstar at the time. Then they had Becky Lynch hold the both. And this was not like Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns from last year's WrestleMania, which mercifully they didn't do that. Literally, she won both belts, which fine, Becky 2 belts, but that whole thing did not last long because I'll say that for my next Dumpsterfires video. Yeah. And after, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Oh yeah, right after, and by the way, for Elias, I'm recording this like a month after his release from WWE, by the way. I don't know, I think I mentioned it already. Then, Becky had this, this was basically the last, like, story arc for the Becky Charlotte feud, but what was this match basically did? They took the belt off her so they could put her on Raw full time because this is where her and Seth were together, basically. So they took the belt off of Becky just so they could give it to Bayley literally the same night. Well, speaking of her, she feuded with, not Charlotte, Alexa Bliss. Here's another issue I have with this. Is Alexa Bliss on SmackDown? No, she was on Raw at this point! And I forgot to mention a fucking wild card rule. Don't even want to mention it. So back to Kofi. Let's get to Kofi for this. He had a meanest feud with Kevin Owens for Money in the Bank. What does it accomplish for Kevin Owens? Nothing. Then oh my god. The It Should Have Been Me storyline with Dolph Ziggler. Glad I don't have to see his face again because he is done. He's gone from WWE. Thank you. Like, literally, how many times do we keep saying this? Someone's gonna get a big title match at a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam. Who do they have to throw in as a filler opponent? Dolph Ziggler. Literally, they have a match at Super Showdown in Saudi fucking Arabia. Name me one Saudi show that is actually good. I can't, because there's no point of going back to those. And then the match at Stomping Grounds, which has that cage match, which Kofi beats Dolph, thankfully. But Roman Reigns, by the way, he had a feud with Shane McMahon, which mostly just them doing stuff on Raw, basically. But I count this for the SmackDown side because they had that awful match where Shane won. That was one, 2019 Roman Reigns. Oh my god. He came back from leukemia, and then had this, and he had to be settled with this. Shit, at least 2018 Roman Reigns won the Universal title. 1 year later, Roman didn't win shit. He didn't want non-titles. Oh, don't get me started with his next few programs, by the way. I'm gonna leave, though, the main of Roman Shane for the next video, because we'll get to that. Kofi went on to have a match with Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Now, if I would have taken out if I would have done back earlier this year, if I would have taken out Sheamus and Roberto on the top 10 wrestlers who do not have chemistry at all, I would have taken that out and replaced it with this. These two do not. Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston do not have any good chemistry whatsoever. Their SummerSlam match ends in a double countout, and then their Clash of Champions match ends. Kofi went in fair and square. And then we get to October, right around this time period, by the way, where Brock Lesnar basically squashed Kofi Kingston in 3 seconds, 3 to 5 to 8 seconds. I don't know how short the match was. I believe 8 seconds. And then at this point, Brock Lesnar... Again, I'll save the Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio's thing for the next video, by the way. Don't even get started with that match with Kane Velasquez at Crown shit, by the way. The match was shit. They have the Fiend Bray Wyatt, which, again, I'll save that for the next video. They had him win the Universal title from a horrible babyface Seth Rollins. Bray did. Rest in peace, by the way. They swapped both belts. They moved the WWE Championship to Raw, and they moved the Universal Championship to SmackDown. That's another reason why 2019 suffered because of that, because the WWE Championship was the main belt on SmackDown for the longest time. The Universal title was the secondary belt for Raw. It's just a little slimy. It's still good. It's still good. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. The draft for both nights, by the way. Now, I thought AJ Styles moving to Raw was terrible. What about this? What about this? Oh my god. Now, Hell in a Cell 2019, which is a show that people do not want me to talk about again. Trust me, I don't want to mention the show again because of that Hell in a Cell main event. Just gonna say that. Charlotte beat Bayley to win her 10th Women's Championship. All for... Hell in a Cell was on Sunday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 6 days later, Charlotte dropped the women's championship. And how come that? She moves over to Raw! It's just a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good. It's gone. It's getting worse. Back to Roman Reigns. There was a storyline before SummerSlam where Roman gets mysteriously getting attacked by a mystery assailant. And this is, to me, almost reminding me who ran down Steve Austin. And like with Rikishi, this reveal was the shittiest reveal. Probably worse than Rikishi running over Stone Cold Steve Austin. The person who did it was Eric Rowan. Yes, that Eric Rowan. Did anybody believe that Eric Rowan was going to be a main eventer in 2019? He beat Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions thanks to Luke Harper, another person we lost a year later, by the way. And then they had that tornado match at Hell in a Cell where Roman and Daniel Bryan won. Then Roman had... Oh no. I don't want to talk about this. I have to talk about this. Then he went to the infamous Baron Corbin feud, who was at this point King Corbin. You know, if somebody tell me who is the worst King of the Ring winner, Baron Corbin to me is the worst. He's worse than Billy Gunn. He's worse than Viscera, Mabel, Big Daddy, whatever you want to call him. He's worse than those two. He's worse than Wade Barrett. He's worse than those three. All because the SmackDown 20th anniversary, the first SmackDown on Fox, which the following year they're going back to USA, where The Rock basically called him a he called Baron Corbin a Burger King on crack, basically. And that's how this storyline begins. This whole thing was... Then we get this thing gives me nightmares. Corbin literally dumps dog food on Roman Reigns. I'm literally not fucking kidding when I say it. He literally dumps dog food on Roman Reigns. Spoiler, my worst match of the year, that TLC match between Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, is on that list. I'm not going into full detail with that. I mean, can there be anything worse? That's all I have to say. Like, oh my god. And don't get me started with no GMs around this time period. They waited 5 years to give us GMs again for Raw and SmackDown. That's all I have to say. Okay, this is the worst year in SmackDown's history. 2007 had Batista and The Undertaker still on SmackDown. 2010, at least The Undertaker and Rey Mysterio is still on SmackDown. This to me is SmackDown's worst year. This, oh my god. Literally. I mean, literally, this is one of the worst years in SmackDown's history. So that's all I have to say about this. So, my next Wrestling Dumpsterfires video on Raw's awful 2019. So like this, comment, and subscribe to both my channels, and SmackDown will not be as bad as what it was in 2019. God, I hate this fucking year. 2019. God, I hate 2019. Bye.